Okay, this is in Azar chapter 1.4, singular and plural nouns. So first, what's a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing. Okay, so we have 3 sentences. You can pause the video and I want you to underline the nouns in the sentences, okay? So you can write this in your notebook, and this should be March 5th, 2020, okay? So write this in your notebook, underline the nouns. For example, number 1, usually Suli is busy. What's the noun? Suli, okay? Number 2, the coronavirus affects the city. We have a noun? Yep. Coronavirus is the noun, okay? And another noun. Yep, the city. Number 3, students are studying online. Students is a noun, and another noun. Oh yeah, online, okay? So, nouns in simple sentences that means we have a subject and a verb, okay? After the verb, we can have an object, or we can have complement, okay? It might be a preposition like at 6 o'clock p.m., okay? In a simple sentence, nouns have 2 jobs. So a noun can be a subject before the verb, or a noun can be an object after the verb, okay? Sometimes a noun is not after the verb, it can be in different places, okay? But for today's lesson, we know that a noun is you always need a subject in a simple sentence, okay? So, with these 3 sentences, can we circle the subject? Circle the noun that's the subject. Number 1. Well, remember, I read the sentence, usually Suli is busy. I have to find the verb because the subject is the subject before the verb or after the verb? It's always before the verb. So here's the verb, is, right? So what's the subject here? Suli, okay? So it answers the question what? What is busy? Suli is busy, that's the subject. All right. What about number 2? What's the verb? The coronavirus affects the city. The verb is affects. Good. What's the subject? Coronavirus. Okay. Number 3, students are studying online. What's the verb? Well, the verb phrase is are studying. What's the verb tense here? Are studying is present progressive. So this is, the main verb is ing, and the helping verb is are here, verb be, okay? So the subject, what's the subject? Students, all right? So nouns act, one of their jobs is to be a subject of a sentence, okay? And today's lesson is singular and plural nouns as subjects. It changes the form of the verb that you use, okay? So, which of these three subjects, Suli, coronavirus, students, which one is plural? That's right, students is plural, right? All right. And which of these are singular? Okay, Suli is singular. And coronavirus is singular. Okay, so let's, over here, I put the subject, and I put the verb, okay? So we have a singular subject. And it's Suli. Number 2. I have a singular subject, coronavirus, and over here, students is a plural subject. Okay, so with the subject, the verb has to match. If it's a singular subject, it means only one city, Suli. One thing, coronavirus. Students, 2 or more, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I have singular nouns, what's the verb here for, what is this verb? Is, okay? So is, and that's verb be. What about this verb here? It's coronavirus affects, okay? All right, what about here? Students, plural are, okay? That's verb be. All right, so when you have a singular subject, you have to use the S form of the verb, okay? So on your paper, we will look at some examples to help you write the singular form of the verb. It has to match the singular subject, okay? And this is called subject-verb agreement. Okay, so let's look at some examples. How can we match the singular or plural noun subject with the right form of the verb? Okay, so this is a reading and you should open this. You can pause the video to read it. And I want you to read and write all of the nouns, all of the subject nouns in each sentence. Okay? There's 2 paragraphs. You can pause the video to do that. Okay? So, to practice singular and plural nouns, I'm using examples from the reading, and we are going to fill in the information in your notebook. Okay, so some singular nouns from the reading. We have 1 student, okay? Plural noun, 2 students, right? Okay, a period, like amount of time, a period, it's a singular noun. We can, plural noun is 2 periods, okay? A bird, what's the plural? 3 birds. All right. The teacher, many teachers. A city, and the plural is 2 cities. All right. A person, 5. This is irregular. It breaks the rule. It's 5 people. Okay. So this is an irregular plural form. Okay. Because it has no S at the end. All right. So with a singular noun, we want to put a singular verb, okay? So in this table, we're actually going to write the sentences in this direction, okay? So singular noun, 1 student studies at AUIS. A period is 2.5 hours. A bird flies. The teacher is busy. A person watches TV, okay? So, when you have singular verbs, it means the verb has to go with the singular noun. So 1 student studies. A period is 2.5 hours. A bird flies. The teacher is busy. A person watches TV, okay? But the nouns, I'm going to put these as blue, okay? And we will put the nouns blue. All right, so these are for singular nouns. They go with singular verbs. And here are examples. I want you to write the sentences for the singular nouns, and they have to agree with the verb, okay? So I did the first 2. I want you to copy the information for the other 3. So we have a bird, the teacher, a city, a person. Okay. You can pause and write that in your notebook, in the practice notebook for March 5th. Okay. Now, for plural nouns, for example, 2 students, 2 periods, 3 birds, many teachers, 2 cities, 5 people. Well, with plural nouns, we need a plural verb, okay? So how do we write we know the singular verb here. We can say 1 student studies at AUIS, but what about 2 students? What's the plural form? It's just the base form, okay? So study. All right. The plural form is 2.5 hours, so the period is 2.5. 2 periods are 5 hours, okay? A bird flies. 3 birds fly. The teacher is busy. Many teachers are busy, okay? A person watches TV. 5 people watch TV, okay? So plural nouns, we don't use S with the verb, okay? So you can copy these 5 sentences. You can do the other 3, okay? And you can write that in your notebook. So in Azar, I want you to practice singular and plural nouns with exercise 20 and exercise 22, okay? So for exercise 20, there's a table, and I'll do that using another video, okay? Thanks. Okay, so we just did singular and plural nouns, and now we need to practice spelling of final plural spelling. So it means when you have S and ES at the end of nouns and at the end of verbs, we have to spell it correctly. There are some rules, okay? So this practice goes with page 14 of your Azar book, okay? And this will help you practice the spelling. So we're going to do this together. You can write this in your grammar notebook, okay? So I want you to copy this for your grammar notebook. You can pause the video to make this table. Continuing, so there are a few rules for spelling. Most verbs, when you have a plural verb, again, the verb goes with a plural noun. That's what I mean, okay? So they, it means plural. So they visit, they speak, they ride, they write, they catch, they wash, they miss, they fix, okay? So plural verbs go with the plural noun, and you just use the base form, okay? So it's pretty easy. Now, but when you switch to singular form, for example, the student, that is a change because you have to put S or you have to change the spelling. Okay, so for example, for most verbs, we use S as our spelling, okay? Easy. So that's an easy rule. Okay, so on your table, make sure you have the plural verb, singular verb, and the rule, okay? So how about, let's try this one together. So they speak, she, the student, speaks. Okay, so it's a normal, most verbs follow this rule, add S, okay? So that's the rule, okay. If the verb ends with E, we need to put S, but it will have ES at the end, okay? So we keep the E and we put S. So they ride, she rides, okay? They write, she writes, all right? So keep the E, add S, okay? Same thing. All right. So if the verb ends in CH, ch, SH, sh, S, X, or Z, you're going to change it to ES, okay? So, example, catch, they catch, she, the student, she catches. They wash, she washes. They miss, she misses. They fix, she fixes, okay? So all of these are pretty easy. Just remember, if you have any of these endings, CH, SH, X, S, or Z, then you use ES, all right? Now, ends in consonant plus Y, like fly, okay? If you have that, remove Y, add IES, okay? So they fly, and then the singular would be she flies. They study, she studies. Okay, see the IES? Okay, easy. All right, so this is pretty easy. The final rule for go, do, and have, they're different. Okay, they break the rule. So you need to remember these. These are irregular. And they go, she goes. They do, she does. And they have, she has? No, she has. Okay, so you know these probably, but remember they're irregular and you just need to remember it. Okay, so in Azar, easy practice is exercise 23, 24, and 26. Okay, and we will do some extra practice. I want you to, in your practice notebook, we're going to review 1.4 and 1.5. These are the sentences from the paragraphs. I want you to circle the plural verbs in the sentences. The nouns, the subjects are underlined. Okay. And I want you to draw a box around singular verbs. Okay, so for example, Slimani isn't always a quiet city. Okay, so Slimani, is that singular or plural? Okay, it's a singular noun. It's a subject. So singular, it's a singular subject, so it needs a singular verb. What's the verb? Is not, isn't. Okay, so I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna put a box around that singular verb, okay? Good. Okay, next sentence. Usually the traffic is heavy and the streets are busy. So circle the plural verbs. Do we have any plural verbs? Let's see. Well, for a plural verb, we need a plural subject. So in the first part of the sentence, we have usually the traffic is heavy. I'll make it a simple sentence. I'm going to take away the word and, so now I have two simple sentences. Usually the traffic is heavy. So the traffic, what part of the sentence? It's the subject, okay? So is it singular or plural? It's singular. So the verb, singular verb, is. So I'm going to put a box around that. And then the next sentence, the streets are busy. Okay, what's the subject? Streets, okay? Is it singular or plural? Plural. So we need a plural verb to go with the plural subject. So I need to circle the plural verbs. All right. And that is all you need to do. So do that for all of these sentences. Okay, you can pause the PowerPoint, the video, and go through each sentence. So pause and follow those directions and write it in your practice notebook. And continue for these other sentences, okay? Do the same thing. Box around singular verb, circle the plural verb. Okay, that's it. So I'll put the answer key on Moodle, and good luck.